I think like writing is like the fucking is the same as like fucking I don't know like the blues or something. Isn't that like just sad music? Like you had to have something sad to happen for you to make the blues, like for like.
It's just the creative blues.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Killa Kela Podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created,
Killa Kela.
and we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela Podcast. You know where it's at, Central London, or Central as you need to be, all right? From the Killa Kela Watchtower. Big shout out to Graffiti Kings. And yeah, it gives me great pleasure. Oh, by the way, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? This is the weekly business. This is a Graff special, as we do. And I'm here with a favourite of mine at the moment, who's doing his thing hard and heavy, goes by the name of Traphouse. How are you, brother?
Living well, man. Living well.
Living well. I mean, you know, you're south, I'm northwest. Took a little journey to get over it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Been a bit of a hard stint of weather as well, which has been particularly nice.
I like the cold. I like the wet, man. I'm not like a summer fan. You know?
Yeah. I mean, who isn't in this climate of Graff? You know, you need to have the weather on your side, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true.
I've been watching your trajectory for a minute, man, and I have to say, like, I mean, branding on point. The whole anonymity, not just within Graff, which is, you know, that's a given, but like everything to do with what you're about has this mystique, and you're able to adapt. And I want to get into so many topics with you because you've got so many arms to what you do. Do you know what I mean?
Let's go.
Like, where do you begin in creating the brand that makes? I mean, ATG did a real fucking good job at it. Where did you begin with the whole Traphouse project? Where did it all begin?
Fuck. I think everything I'd been doing with my life had all been accumulating to craft the fucking skills that I'd then put to use at 2016, early 2016. I think January, February, yeah, boom. So around then, I broke up with a girl in a severe way.
It's always a good start.
Bro,
I swear to God, we're live.
live and direct, yeah. It fucked me up quite a bit because I wasn't expecting it. And a lot of the things was about my lifestyle, which this bitch was completely aware of entirely before we were together. She
It's
knew
like
who I
they
was.
don't know what they're signing up for.
Bruv, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. But what I'd always dabbled with was all the things that I'm now doing in a much more serious manner. Do you get what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think like I was not that I was a chat shit guy, but I always thought that, you know, like I had in my head somewhere that, you know, like, I'm gonna do this music thing, and I like tattoos. I consumed a lot of it growing up, and I had a mad interest in it. So I always thought that I was gonna do that as well. I was gonna do these and that things, But I never actually did. All I was doing was crime. Do you know what I mean? And the way things ended with her was that things couldn't work out with that being my lifestyle, and it was in a fucking proper shit way that got to me. The things she said in an email, so I had time to fester.
Oh no,
that's
email
proper
call.
formal, isn't it?
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
Hi.
So, yeah. Sat there on the
Because
laptop.
they can list that shit as well.
Bruv, it's deep, man. It's deep. It should definitely be in a conversation because you could forget that quicker. With an email, I'm looking at it, I'm reading it, and it's things like, it starts to attack who I am as well. Like you'll never be. You'll never be a tattoo
That's
artist.
fighting words to me, bro.
You'll never make it in music. You're just full of shit. You're gonna be nothing but a fucking gangster your whole life, and that's not someone I can be with.
No.
I'm not saying that I did what I did, pursuing the creative life out of trying to get this bitch back, but it was more out of spite that drove like the initial. Let me prove this bitch wrong, innit? And good part of life, which is nice for me, because I'm very petty and spiteful as well. I believe highly in revenge, which is which is one of the best things in life, right?
God, it's good.
I think it was like a year or two into like being successful with these creative things, or seemingly successful to the outside world. Fucking, she finds me on Instagram, hits me up, says like she's been watching the journey from the start. Obviously, all girls do this. If you don't know, all girls that you fuck with have a secret Instagram that they watch you with. You'll never know. But they have it. It's all there.
Right, every single, like, girls, come on, now be honest, there ain't many of you out there that don't love a good Inspector Clouseau program or some sort of, like, detective forensics.
They're all at it. Everyone's at it. Everyone has that backup, that they get into investigative mode, innit? Do you know what I mean? Let me spy. They love the thing.
As if she wasn't the one that done the ditching. She then becomes the one that does the probing.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what happens to a lot of exes.
But her life took a turn. I don't think a good one. Okay. I think when we parted ways, my trajectory was up, hers was down, and I was very happy to revel in that. That makes me happy now. Still,
is that an aggression from a male's point of view? I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. From a female point of view, I think it's if you're the one that's been dumped. There's two things that come into play there. First of all, you have this. I will prove you wrong because you don't think I'm good enough. Mm-hmm. But the flip side of it as well is people galvanise to people that have been dumped rather than the person that's doing the dumping. All friends, they all come together and it's like the energy becomes on you because you've been dumped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I've always kept like my my private like relations in that very, very short and not secretive, but like I wouldn't like to discuss if ever asked. I mean, what happened with you and so on.
Yeah, it's no business, but yeah, I get that.
I mean, I think fucking focusing energy on something positive is the best solution to everything, really.
Yeah. Just to go back a little bit, you were saying about do you right? Just go back on what you were saying. So yeah, I'm choosing my.
This is going to go on tangents left, right, and centre.
I'm choosing my roots on this one because I don't want to get deep on any of the things you might have done that would have alluded to her breaking up with you. But do you feel like there was you were creative, but there was an idleness to that because you were busy doing other things.
Yeah.
And as soon as you broke up with her, that idleness and wandering mind and being preoccupied in other things, you suddenly had that focus, like pinprick focus.
All right, cool. It's not that like
That was all right, wasn't it?
that was all right. But one thing that I wanna make clear is that I was never like lazy. If it came to what I was doing, I believe that I did that very well and very effectively, and that's why when I transferred that knowledge and experience and like work ethic into something else, it allowed me to go the way that it went. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think fucking if you have come from that life, you possess all the knowledge, skills, and experience in the real world business and how to. Like what I think a lot of people that come from the same like background and life is that they think that being legit is like something super difficult. Do you know what I mean? But when you actually like put it on paper and you look at like what you're doing on a like on a CV, like how it looks like in the corporate world or like business or something like that. You actually have like a lot of fucking skills and experience that puts you ahead of someone that doesn't, like someone, for example, you can go to college, university studying business and like studying entrepreneurship you can get a degree in that.
It's a thing, yeah,
right?
that's right.
But you can go to school for as long as you want. Nothing beats education better than experience.
1000%.
Do you get what I mean?
Bro,
If you have the experience, you have a better chance at succeeding in business than the kid that went to university studying business.
there's no the conventional way of going to school is completely undermined by the kind of levels of lessons you learn in just approaching life with vigor. You know, just going for it, right?
Yeah, but I think the main thing that maybe I looked at that held me back in until that, I guess, that catalyst that turned things around, or the point where I wanted to do something else, was I just always thought it was like beyond me. Do you know what I mean? I think fucking it takes like fucking. It usually takes for a lot of people something to happen or like something, some
Trigger.
some trigger, for like some behavior to change. Do you get what I mean? I think
that's a good thing, though, isn't it?
for sure
Something that ignites like that. Yeah.
you can trace it in everyone. Like everyone that ever started doing something, there was like a reason why that started to happen. Do you know what I mean? And that's usually like, it's usually, I would say, in equal weight to the amount they do it. Do you get what I mean?
No, explain.
Okay, so like, if something really massive and dramatic, like you hear it a lot when someone has like a massively dramatic or traumatic event in their life, then all of a sudden, like, equally,
They come out of the ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have that weight of power towards whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you kind of like pottering through life and things ain't really that bad, they're not really that good,
Yeah.
and you're just coasting, like, in the mid-range. And that's why there's a lot of people that just coast through the mid-range and might not go through any of...
And put their and some downplay, other people play up to the trauma or something that they've suffered, which sometimes is the wrong attitude to embrace, isn't it?
I don't know.
So I guess it's different for different people, isn't it? I mean, and also it depends what you're basing your reaction, how you're basing your work rate on that. Like, if you're doing writing, if you're doing graph, this is only an assumption. Like, you have a traumatic moment or something goes down, that just elevates the attack and the aggression, and it.
Oh, 100%. I think like writing is like the fucking. Is the same as like fucking, I don't know, like the blues or something. Isn't that like just sad music? Like you had to have something sad to happen for you to make the blues. Like for like.
It's just the creative blues.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's cool.
No,
Yeah.
listen, when you think about like the most upwriters or the times that people like the most active in their, I don't want to say, is it career in your like writing journey, was usually like in a bad time. Do you know what I mean? Like when things are at like the worst, it was writing the most. Do you know what I mean? It restores like, I think a lot of like fucking self power.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's originally why like a lot of like people in the situation I found myself in, or that I was born into, do you know what I mean? When you're from like a low income fucking family area, everything, and you kind of feel like unknowingly or knowingly, you feel like you don't have much power, you don't have much control over your life, you don't have many options. With graph, you can take control of...
Make your power.
Yeah, you can make something of it, you can make a name, you can feel bigger than that.
Yeah.
That thing that you was given. It's now like a whole... You're choosing the name that you write. you're choosing where to put it. You're like the amount you go hard with that is what you get back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's a fine line, isn't it? Because we're kind of talking mentally from a retrospective point of view. That comes with a lot of looking inside yourself. What you're talking about there is, there'd be people that are watching this that have gone through that and are not shaking and nodding their heads with you. There's other people that may not have even got to that point yet.
Yeah, but Graff is there for them.
Yeah, but Graff is there for them. Yeah,
Graff
exactly.
is there for them. Whenever they come across it is when they come across it. But I think fucking, it's something like fucking. I think I'll always have love for writers because I have I understand.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? When whoever it is, whatever they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Even writers that I don't like, that I still have a level of respect for them because
Totally.
they do.
Yeah.
You're part of my thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're part of the thing that I found out of, like, some sort of like fucking, some pain. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
It's pain. And but it's so fucking. I ask people this all the time. I say to them, "Yeah, did Graff save your life?" And 9 times out of 10, they say, "Yeah." And what's awesome for me when you think about it is, regardless of the pigeonhole that people put writers in or what certain people, classes think of it, generations think of it, the amount of people it's saved in lives way outnumbers the consequences of if they weren't doing Graff, right? It could have been so different. It could have been so much more worse. But this thing, this culture, this community, this scene, regardless of how much it may have cost the taxpayer over the decades, it saved lives. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's just crazy.
For sure. I think fucking, I'm seeing it as well now. Like through what I'm doing, I'm traveling. I'm going to places all around the world, and I find fucking good people. Immediate, like fucking, where was I? Fucking Melbourne, Sydney, making Graff mates.
Yeah, they got a great scene over there as well,
bro. But like, that's probably, I don't know. I've been to Korea as well, but that's pretty fucking far away. It's like one of the furthest places to go distance-wise from here. Do you know what I mean? And to find like someone you immediately fuck with through Graff. Do you know what I mean? Just through Graff, you're gonna find like a lot of common ground. Do you know what I mean? It's a very, like, if you write, you see Graff everywhere and you think it's this big thing, but really it's a very small fraction of the population. Do you know what I mean? Especially like who's up, who's actually active is very, like, there's a very, I don't want to say handful, there's more than that because there's a lot of people at it, but it's not in terms of how many people there are in the world and how many people there are in that city. There's only like a very, very small few. So you are part of a very tight community. Like whether you know it or not, you're all part of like a one thing, one very small thing. I think you could probably fit, like, if you thought hard enough, you could probably like name all the active writers in your head right now. Do you know what I mean? If you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is amazing. And I'm always surprised by how many people check this podcast internationally. You know, you don't realise it from a UK standpoint, how broad it goes. With beatboxing, which I can only really refer to, they always say, oh, what's going about beatboxing? But it's the truth, right? That's all I know. I can only refer to this. But with a scene like that, it has a very similar infrastructure. Like, you go to another country, there's no language. It's beatboxing.
Yeah,
so you see these kids talking to themselves like beatboxing. It's fucking batshit crazy, but it's amazing. The only difference, though, that I feel with the Graff side to this, because it's still an anonymity to the design and the piece. It's like your style's yours. You know what I mean? It doesn't take, you speak with what's on the wall. You don't have to talk. You see it. But it's by design that you are elusive, and there's a way in which graph writers carry themselves that it's solitude. It's like this is my shit. You know, it's not. There is a connectivity, like beatboxing or like what you're talking about, but I just feel like there's a level of respect that is just the unwritten rule of like, that's your style, that's your thing.
But that comes from that's like some social psychological shit.
Yeah.
And a fucking an outlet, letting something out, is a vulnerable, intimate thing to share.
Yeah.
For you to share music, you to share art, for you to bring anything from inside creatively out and share that is a super like deep thing. You as the sharer have an emotional connection to that thing and with other people's experience of it. That's why, like, I can speak for myself. Someone goes over my shit, I cannot help the feeling of wanting to hurt you.
Because you're giving it
You've
voluntarily.
upset something I feel like a way about. Do you know what I mean? This is my thing.
Yeah.
Fucking the same with like fucking music. Like you listen to someone that shares something about themselves, and you build that like familiarity and connection with obviously music's a lot more direct because they can actually verbalize the fucking things they're talking about, and you build that closer connection. You're like, like I relate to this guy, and you have that respect and that connection
it's personal.
through that that thing that they've shared. Do you get what I mean? And I think like with Graff, but it's difficult to articulate it as well, because it's a thing that's like, I've always seen it as quite like a hard thing to do, not like in difficulty wise, but you're quite like, I don't know. I think when I come into Graff, you couldn't be a pussy-hole. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't you wouldn't survive as a writer if you was a neek, if you was going to get fucking, I don't know. If someone goes over your shit and you don't go back over it because you're scared of what they might do to you or something like that, then you're fucked.
Then you're already out of the game.
You might as well quit. Do you know what I mean? This isn't for you. Do you know what I mean?
That's
so, like,
the competitive edge. Yeah, that's right.
to take something quite like tough, but essentially you're putting pretty paintings on the wall. I mean, it's not that tough guy stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's the backstories. It's behind the curtain. It's like retaliating if necessary. It's the athleticism that comes with it. Yeah,
but you look at like rap. Rap is quite like, you consider it to be quite hard as well. I mean, it's like aggressive. Subject matter might be about fucking crime and but it is poetry. You are like poetically rhyming words in rhythm.
Deep,
and
bro.
do you know what I mean?
No,
It's a lot softer in like, really, like if you're sat alone in your room, like writing words that rhyme and expressing what's on your mind and getting it out and that's a super like creative outlet. That's a super like emotional, vulnerable thing to share.
So where does that edge come from? Like,
what do you mean?
well, like in context, well, okay, in context of a rap, like you say, it's poetry. There's different forms in that shit. But where does that narrative kick in whereby people suddenly think that shit is dangerous? How does that come about? It's branding, right?
I don't know. Like, people will always be dangerous.
Yeah.
And you'll get them in, you'll get a madman in the office that's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just because he types documents all day. Do you know what I mean? But the difference is, with creative outlets like music and things like that, more is connected to more people, so they're more of a high profile thing if they do violence, or if that does become dangerous.
And I guess that filters down into the, with every one bad man, there's another 4 or 5 imitators below that kind of, they adopt the attitude, so it then it turns into a bad thing, like I guess maybe punk did back in the day.
I'm not too savvy about punk. I don't really know anything about it. But what I do know, like in behaviour and like people, is the same way. I think everyone has a certain desire for power at some level, whether they admit it or not. Everyone wants some sort of power in general. And if you're looking at someone that seemingly has more power than you, and that's the thing that you desire,
Yeah.
I can completely understand why someone would emulate aspects or, do you know what I mean,
Yeah.
characteristics of the person with power they admire, or the
Yeah.
people with power they admire. If you look at, like, I don't know, again, like fucking low income areas, and you've got powerless youth looking up at seemingly powerful people that do certain things, behave a certain way,
Yeah.
100% they'd emulate that. Of course, they're getting views, they're getting money,
By default, yeah.
they're getting more control, they have more power.
Mm.
Of course, like you're gonna do what you know,
Yeah.
and if that's what you know, then that's what you do. Do you know what I mean? I think
It's a very hard thing to. I was thinking about this only a couple of days ago, in the gym, like the alpha male behaviour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm one of those people that kind of like to try and sit in the middle. I'm not really like I don't have alpha tendencies like that. But sometimes you watch these people in those close environments, you know, and some people, they're attracted to the alpha male. They really gravitate to it, and you see the behaviour in certain situations, and it's a real thing, isn't it?
when you say gravitate to it, how do you elaborate?
Well, they're the alpha male of the gym, or the
Okay,
street.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
people gravitate to it, almost like prospects to the idea that they want to. That's the way to be.
Mm.
It's very hard to remove yourself from that and remember the positioning of things, and that, you know, you don't have to be like that, or if you are, go a different route about it, or do you know what I mean? Just know yourself.
But I think that goes down to the same thing I was saying. Like everyone has an inner desire for power in some form, and you are attracted to it. Everyone is. Do you know what I mean? But I think, like, people's behavior is definitely it's a reflection of what's going on inside. A lot of people that if they behave, anyone that behaves in a sad or negative way, or does anything harmful or disruptive to anyone or anything else, is sad inside. Something is broken inside. Something's not right. That's why they're doing that. Do you get what I mean? And I think, like, that's why that combination of being broken and unhappy and power leads to, like, bad things. Do you get what I mean? You don't see someone who's happy and powerful doing bad things.
Well, it's hard to keep control of your own self if those are the emotions you're feeling, isn't it? Backtracking a little bit.
Anywhere you want to go, mate.
Yeah, wicked, cool. Because I want to go back a little bit, because you were talking about the aggression
Right.
side of things. You had an aggression with Graff, still do. With the
Fan art. I've never done graph.
fan art, with the fan art, naturally. And we're talking in retrospect here, by the way.
Yeah, go on.
But with your tattooing,
Mm-hmm.
do you still attack the same aggression? Because this is some awesome shit, by the way. You know, I love the adaptation of that, and I do celebrate that with Graff. But yeah, do you attack with the same aggression in your tattooing? Is there an attack to that?
There's the most simple equation is the more you put in, the more you get out. That's as simple as it gets.
That's fine, yeah.
When 2016 March, I rented a hotel for 2 months. I bought a smartphone, downloaded the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and I was attacking all social medias with the same fucking hyperactivity. Do you know what I mean? If you post 6 times a day, you're gonna just get more results. It doesn't matter if each individual post doesn't get as many interactions. Like, overall, you're, like, hyperactive. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think in those 2 months, the way that I spent my time was non-stop. Like, as soon as I woke up, I was either drawing new designs, or I was tattooing someone, or I was doing something in that direction. Do you get what I mean? Every single motion and movement. And I was sleeping a lot less, which is, it's not cool, but I don't advise it. Sleep is vital. If you could damage your brain and your mind and mental health if you don't. But when I was in that mode and I wanted to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I spent a lot of time, like, and I think to sit for 8 hours and draw consistently, design after design after design, is mind-numbing for 2 months back to back. And that's the 8 hours of drawing, let alone
Stir crazy, bro.
actual like tattooing. Do you know what I mean? And
Wow.
and I was still serving at the time as well. There was a lot of
Jesus.
activity going on. I was exhausted all of the time. But after the first 2 months, there was massive results.
Was it?
Massive.
I fucking love that. I love that. That's the shit I'm talking about. I love that hype. I love it.
But that's the same thing. You see it with like fucking anything, bruv. If you go to the gym and you do bare weights every day all the time, you're gonna be blam quick.
Yeah.
A lot quicker than, and
The
that's
same science applies to every fucking thing.
everything, absolutely everything. So like when it comes to like what I'm doing now, I'm spending my time on music, which is a massive thing for me. That's something that I've been doing since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But obviously, I didn't pursue it in the same manner that I have done.
Yeah.
Fucking tattooing, things like that. Not yet, anyway. Now, 2020 is my year. I'm coming. All
Baby,
of that.
fucking watch this.
I'll back it up with some action and talk less about it. But fucking
You're good, brother. This is a podcast, man. You talk all you want, brother. This is what we're on.
graph and all that, fucking tattooing, all these things, like fucking all of my time now I spend on those creative outlets.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like I have a destination in mind. I have a fucking a purpose, and I've seen, like, bruv, you can hear it 1,000 times. You can hear it from as many different people in the same message in different ways. You can be anything you want to be if you just fucking put your mind to it. And you hear it, and it all, in the end, like, that message loses its, like, impact. Do you know what I mean? Now, like, the way that, like, fucking I have this super fucking overwhelming confidence in the next ventures that I'm going to take is because I know factually, if I behave in this manner, it's only a matter of time before I bust. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
It's only like a certain amount of reps until I'm at the goal.
I
Do
know
you know what I mean?
exactly what you mean.
And that's just time, and I'm patient as well. I'm in no rush, and I think that a lot of people are disheartened by the rush. Do you know what I mean? People that fucking just, I guess, don't make it in time. That's all it is. They just didn't make it in the time that they thought they was going to.
Yeah,
a lot of people think, do you know what I mean? You're going to fucking blow up and be a massive rapper before 20, and then they get to 20 and they're like, well, it didn't happen, so I'm going to shake that dream, do something else, and whatever. Do you know what I mean? I think fucking the formula of fucking putting time, energy, and effort into something super aggressively and like fully like committing and believing in yourself and that thing will fucking guarantee what you want out of it. 100%. It's just a matter of time. That's it.
That's fire.
That's it.
I do take a lot of cues from writers and the aggressiveness in which they post. You can take a lot. You can take a lot from that. You can take a lot from the game. You can take a lot from rap. You can adapt anything to just work rate and just drill the fuck out of it until you find oil. People get hung up on the little shit, like what time to post something, or what time is the stars set with the moon for the third dimension to open my fucking mind, and then all of a sudden I'm creative. It's like, no, just open a fucking book and start.
Yeah.
You know, just go.
Action.
It's crazy how people operate, isn't it?
Yeah. But the thing as well, you got to clock, like, it might take you a certain amount of time to get onto someone or to get onto something. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could be doing this podcast another couple of years before someone comes across it and then watches them all from the beginning up to recent. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's just fucking, you don't have control, or, like, not control, but you can't, like, say, like, I know the destination I'm going to get to is by this time. You can maybe make a guess or, like, a hopeful, optimistic, like, assumption of when it's going to happen, but you never know, man. There's nothing to gain from trying to watch that or trying to fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, the way I got to do this is there's nothing, and I should really listen to my own bars that I'm spitting now. There's nothing else to do but to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
What else you can do? What the fuck? This is what I'm saying. I feel, and this, bear in mind, we haven't really talked too much before. We jumped straight into this. But I do feel that you are very self-educated in this. If you're anyone like me, I take information, I put it in a box in my head and I leave it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'll be in a state of flux or trying to figure something out. And I remember that thing in the box. I'm like,
Yeah.
Because, schooling doesn't do that for you so much. You have to find the information yourself and almost like form it in a way that works in conjunction with the way you you operate. Do you feel like you've educated yourself to a point, like with the tattooing, that's self-taught, the music self-taught?
Yeah.
Is it a case that you've really got to be fucking interested in this shit?
Yeah. Fuck, man. We
There's
could go
layers
into
to this.
philosophy and we could talk about like
Yeah.
determinism and that, and like, was I just always predetermined to fucking do the things that I'm doing and da-da-da-da? Or do I have free will? That's the fucking big question. Right? But to look at it like fucking what like my education and what the way that I am and the way that I behave and why I'm doing what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, whatever. So how many? I went to 5 different secondary schools.
5?
That's like 1 a year.
Secondary?
Yeah.
Wow, that's what it is, 1 a year.
Yeah.
Jeez, all right.
I have, through my behaviour, through all of these things, have developed or was always hyper-social. Do you know what I mean?
God, yeah.
So I've always had like a vast network of people, and by the time I was 16, I'd interacted with a lot more people than the average kid my age.
Which is so sick.
Then, and I was serving up them times, and I got a job doing telesales, telemarketing on the phone, which meant that I think on a day you'd speak to from 1 to 200 people a day on the phone. So I'm then interacting with more people.
And you're selling. You're just in the selling game.
They paid for me to get a customer service NVQ. That's the only formal education I've got to my life. But the other thing is I've lived in a lot of different areas in London as well, and I've moved around and created different social circles through doing that, right? So by the time it came to my business and things that I was doing, all of that hyper-social behaviour, knowing the amount of people that I did, and all of that enabled me to do what I did, right? So then when something like social media comes along, I'm already well-versed and experienced in interacting with a lot of different people at scale. Do you get what I mean? And I think that I gravitated towards something that's like that because that's what I'd been subjected to and experienced.
Which is life skills in abundance.
So my education is more in people and understanding of people than, I don't know, like written English or, I don't know, whatever, science or something.
You're certainly a communicator. You're a people's person.
I love it.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I
can tell. It's good.
I've got to the point now where I want to see if I want to test it. I want to see if I'm right. Do you get what I mean? Like, can I help this? Can I help this person with their thing, just with the formula that I've got in my head? Can I help your business? Can I help it grow? Like, do this, and this. Let me see you execute that. Show me the results.
That's fire.
And I'm at this point now where I've done it with I can't incriminate myself too
No,
deep.
let's hurry up. It's cool. We don't have to go too far.
No, but some business, legitimate businesses, illegitimate businesses, any like da. But I guess my involvement is marketing. Like I don't know what the corporate real world terminology is for what it is, but like my knowledge and experience and advice helps someone's business, because it's very rare to find someone who's like inclined to do a craft or a thing that is also super business savvy and super like social or like hyper social like myself.
Fine line, man. I agree.
Super. I can find you so many like really fucking like talented people that are really good at a specific thing that they do. The reason their business is not at the top of where it could be is because they lack that business element to it, which is no fault of their own, and it shouldn't take anything away from them. But like for myself, why I blew up in tattooing the way that I did is because I could sell it better, hands down. Like there was that point when I popped off in 2016 up until like however long. I don't know if I'm gassing myself up now. I'm still reigning champion. I guess there's.
Hey, whose podcast is this? Come on, gas up.
But there was definitely a point, like hands down, I was the most popular, most popping tattoo artist in the city.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think London is the biggest and best city in the world as well.
Yeah, it's
So
just
if I could pop off here, the world is mine, right? Yeah. Let me just fucking dwell on that. That's fucking sick as well, by the way. That's sick.
Yeah, for real.
That's sick. I just fucking threw myself off what I was thinking. I got too gassed up on that.
Love it. Do you think with the authenticity that you collected through the period of 2016 to now, you know, fucking working with A$AP Rocky, Skepta, these were the first, like, they came through integrity. Know what I'm saying? That plays a massive part in it. And I don't think that always comes down. We all know the story. It's like 20% talent and the rest is work ethic and just hustle and a tiny bit of timing.
Yeah.
The likes of which could come to you on that level, do you think they, in equal measure, respect how you did it? Did they respect the work rate and the ethic and the, you know? Do you think that plays a big part in
those individuals?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never asked.
It's an interesting idea, though, isn't it?
I'd like to think that fucking. Yeah, but then again, you never know why people are fucking watching or not watching. Sorry, or
Right?
have the feelings they have towards something. Why they consume it?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
That's
There
what
could be
I'm saying.
people. 100%. I guarantee. There's people watching this now purely because they dislike me.
Me
Click
too.
the link. Well, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can never tell why someone is consuming what they're consuming, but you can make a summation of like, I mean, the factors involved in why the majority does.
Like Koza, I totally admire his work, what he stands for, what he is he's the embodiment. But I'm also like incredibly like drawn to Ein and how the Einstein's thing has come and it's so like out in the public and how he got to that point from where he came from and seeing him come up. Like these two parallels, you know what I mean? I'm wondering if they work together simultaneously.
It depends how they're inclined. Do you know what I mean? Like who wants what? Not everyone wants the same thing.
That's
Do you know what I mean? I think fucking it really depends on where you want to go and where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? Some people might not share the same destination. Do you know what I mean? So they like their will for that destination. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it might not make sense. Do you know what I mean? But I think fucking my destination on that Gary V shit. Do you know what I mean? Happiness. My man says it so well. Do you know what I mean? He says it so well, and it's very, very true.
Yeah.
I just think my man articulates it a lot better than I can right now. But I think
Gary V's like a lot of people's fucking stepdads,
yeah,
second dads.
this guy, he articulates the message very well and very clearly. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And I think fucking what I'm trying to say is said a lot better than him, but happiness is the goal for me. And I think it is consciously or subconsciously the goal for everyone else. Certain people might be happy with a certain level that their life is at and what they've got. You know what I mean? And I think fucking
happiness changes everything and makes things a lot more livable.
yeah. But you look at like fucking, I don't know, like what are we talking about here? Like who makes a business out of what? And I think before I threw myself off by like wanking myself off about what I've achieved and that, yeah, is that fucking I was able to sell something better. That's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Is there was other tattoos that were more experienced, they were better technically, maybe conceptually their art was more interesting to more people, or however, whatever. But I sold it better. Therefore, I moved into what I did. Do you know what I mean? In the way that I did.
Traphouse as a name, it comes with baggage. It comes with a imagery. It comes with a thing. Very current. It's a very current idea.
Yeah.
The trap house.
It has become popular. It wasn't always.
Yeah, totally.
I remember fucking shotting, and that was something you wouldn't really.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants to be a drug dealer. Now everyone wants to be fucking.
And if they ain't, and a trap queen, if they want it. You know what I mean? But this is that, and then coupled that with the heavy graffiti influence that fan art that you've been accustomed to receiving and been acquiring, and then marry that with the tattoo world, the music, and you've got yourself a fucking tour de force. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think fucking time will tell on it. I'm planning to just batter it in all those respects. Someone asked me a question that fucking just really helped put things into perspective for me. Yeah, was if you had it all, like all the money, everything you could want.
Yeah.
If you had it all, how would you spend your time? If you I don't know. Like money wasn't an issue, so you never had to work, right? Your house was sorted, it's paid for. You never have to worry about rent. Like everyone else is fine, you're all good. Like everything's you literally don't have to work. How would you spend your time? What would you do? Like, what would you enjoy doing if money wasn't the object? If that was not the drive? 100%, I'd fucking graph all day long. I'd fucking I'd tattoo because that's what I like to do. I'd make a shitload of music. So if I can do that now, why am I waiting for all that money for?
Yeah, for real.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's gonna come, and I don't care about it. If it does or it doesn't, I'm still doing the thing that I would do if I was a billionaire.
And those disciplines you talk about that you're actually doing, these are the only other genres that mirror that. Beatboxing, perhaps, but skateboarding. You know what I mean? It's like these are thankless, giving, creative responses to things that, a lot of skateboarders don't even expect to get sponsored. A lot of them burn themselves and they, do their joints in before they even hit 25 and they ain't got paid, but they just love doing it. That's such a beautiful fucking place in your head to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm super interested in that. I wanted to make a skate tape with the Hated. The Hated.
Big up Hated all day.
Shout out my guy.
Oh, tight.
I think fucking I think that whole scene and that whole world interests me.
Crazy.
I also I found myself I don't know how it comes up. Maybe after I've looked at his shit, it comes up as sponsor something. I just see like a skate tape, and it's done like, I guess like a music video or something, like the way it's edited and da da da, and then there's clips of like some other shit and da da da. I was just bare interested in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you remember them old school 411 skate videos back in the day? You may not remember them, Dave. It was almost like Jackass meets like some crazy old 90s MTV commercial.
Wasn't there? Them man was skateboarders, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
Jackass, and so were all of Dirty Sanchez. They were all.
Yeah, that was the birth of it, innit? Like skate tape. Right? Yeah, cool. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they was making skate tapes with funny shit in between.
Yeah.
Then then it became like the funny shit became the more prominent aspect of what they filmed. Yeah.
And what I used to love the most was they would always have their name as if like crediting themselves.
Yeah.
Because it was it was worth crediting. You know what I mean? The silliest shit in the world, but respect this guy, credit him.
But that's the same as the formula of their skating mixtapes and that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Same formula.
badass. I got a product placement idea, which I kind of put it to a friend of mine who's in a punk band. And I was like, you know what? Like with all these skater kids and guys going out and putting, they'll go out and do like as many takes on a skateboard as a person would do a selfie these days. You know what I mean? They make it till it's fucking great. They put it out. But with all these videos that are now easily like recordable, people need to be sending their tunes to these kids, because then they can just overlay the tunes, and then the songs get associated with the skateboard videos, and it kind of creates that vibe that they used to do on the videos back in the day.
Someone smashed it with I think very similar. That Lil Nas X, he made that tune, and then he made memes. Then he put that song in different contexts, and just released, and it went out.
Flooded it.
You know what I mean?
Out.
One thing that I always thought this, and I called it. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. But there was that tune with Drake, in the colourful thing.
Yeah.
There's bare memes of it.
Yeah.
The Hotline Bling.
That's it, yeah.
Right, and there was a dance that he did that went into like mad memes.
Yeah.
And I saw that meme bare times.
Crazy times.
Before I heard the tune. So I knew the song already through that tune. And I felt like
They did that.
100%.
Me too.
But that's super smart though. It's like I don't think it's sneaky. I don't think it's.
No.
If you know how to work the thing, work the thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got to give it, like, if you're in a position where you can laugh at yourself and just make that so incognito, but yours, and like fucking just let people run with it. 'Cause I didn't actually understand you get the joke, but to that nth degree of like, I was like, oh man, like this is like one hell of a one-hit wonder meme going on here. Like, it keeps on giving to the point that it just is like, well, it's more than it's like the Crazy Frog. It's like, come on, man.
But then it gets burnt into fucking, I guess, like cultural history. It gets burnt in that way.
Yeah.
It needs to
Harlem
get rinsed
Shake
like
shit.
Yeah. And it happens like that.
Yeah. What's the plans? What's the plans for the future?
For future for me is I think that I've got tattooing to the point where I've traveled the world. I've done so much with it that I've accumulated enough experience and fucking education in it. Like a lot of these places I go, I'll watch the fucking artist that I think is sick. I'll watch him work. I'll ask questions. I'll learn. I'm always learning, right? So still, the future for me is to continue to learn and evolve tattooing. But the reason I speak about it in that way is because I want my music to be the next thing that I behave with in the same way I behaved with tattooing, right? With the way that I behave with tattooing, I had my previous existing business financially support the initial come up because I charged very little, but I had high outgoings. I was paying for a hotel, I was paying for the equipment, I was paying for the travel. Like, all of that was quite expensive, and I wasn't making that back. But I didn't need to because I had financial backing from something else.
Yeah.
Now I'm fully legitimate. The music will be backed by the tattooing in the same manner.
Love it.
And I've got the clothing line as well that needs and deserves a lot of attention, because I didn't want to come out with merch. Do you know what I mean? I think merch is too I don't know, it's transparent for me. I think people build attention and they're like, right, I can make a quick buck if I just like get these like stock tracksuits or these stock t-shirts and then just bang my embroidery on it, or
and
bang
I'm not into that.
I think it's for me, like, I want to test, can I build a brand separate to this one, separate to Traphouse? Can I build a brand, a clothing brand that doesn't depend on my, like, do you know what I mean, like something that says Traphouse on it, or like the amount of companies I've had approach me that are like, oh yeah, get one of your like tattoo designs on a thing, get but that's just like merchant.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, as a tattoo artist that doing clothing in that way is right for me.
Yeah.
I think, like, I've always had an interest in fashion. Matter of fact, I tried to start it off as a business at one point. I failed. That didn't work. You know what I mean? But persistence with it, and now, like, I'm very lucky to have, like, fucking made the friends that I have that have the time and energy for me, and fucking like a major fucking shout out and thank I have to give is to Sam, Weekend Offender.
Weekend Offender.
Yeah,
Hold tight.
he's very much been a, like, my clothing mentor, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, taking me under the wing a little.
Yeah.
And I think fucking that is something that will surpass my tattooing name and my fucking my music, producing, singing, doing all of that. Like, a fashion house can live forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can move and da. Tattooing is cool right now. Everyone's into it. Da. Music. My music isn't like. It's not that auto-tune pop music, hip hop, trap shit. It's not fucking. It's not grime. Like, I say it's R&B in it, but obviously where I'm the way I am is the hardest R&B there is.
Yeah, I love that. Hey,
But
I want to hear it.
but fucking the journey that's gonna take is different. You know what I mean? That's I could be pushing at that for 5 years, 10 years before
You can't rush it neither.
Yeah.
You can do things prematurely and it falls flat on its ass. You know when that sweet spot comes and you know it's time to do it.
Yeah.
It can't come any other way, can it?
So bruv, like I said, those 3 things that I like doing, that make me happy, I'm going to continue to bang out doing.
Yeah.
And I know that, well, fucking music, tattooing, fashion, and fan art. I'm always going to do them things. At some point, each one will take over as the financially dominant benefactor in my life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
By natural selection, it will start.
Yeah.
And people have this tendency to, like, be impatient, don't they? They don't realise that once you hit a goal, there has to be a thing that carries on. You can't just say, right, by the time I'm I want XYZ, because it doesn't work like that. If you do hit that mark and you hit successfully exactly how you want to, what you can do after? People don't realise that the journey just goes on and on. So you've got to love what you're on, man.
Yeah, like, bro, if you want to be fit, you have to be going to the gym.
Yeah.
You have to, and then it becomes something that's what you do now.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's what I am. This is.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go gym and fucking. I want to leave fit in one session.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I'm going to the gym for all of these things consistently forever. That's just the rest of my life. How it's gonna plan out.
I believe you.
What the fuck else am I gonna do?
I fucking believe you.
You know what I mean?
I tell you, bro. Like, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. And I do hope you'll come back in the near future and fucking join the podcast and have another chat and see where you're at, bro.
Please get me back, man.
It's a pleasure having you on, my man.
Safe. Safe.
Enough respect.
Safe, man. I appreciate it.
No,
Thanks
come
for having
on,
me.
come on. Thanks for coming through, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking, there will be a part 2 in this. The mighty Traphouse inside the place. Thank you very much, brother. Killa Kela Podcast, live and direct. Big shout out to Graffiti Kings. Everybody else inside that's checking us out every week. We're out like him was out of fashion. Stay lucky. Peace.
Sick.
Yeah.
Safe, man.